Right, okay, so what do we have today? Today is a bit of a special one. We're doing the audio build on this. So, let's get it cracking. We're doing a JBL stage 1 and stage 2 conversion on it. The plan is to do an OEM plus build. So, we're gonna take everything out. We'll give you a before sound test and we'll give you an after sound test. This one's the Puzzle Master, and yeah, so we're gonna kick off the first part of actual upgrades of the car with the sound system. Yeah, I thought since we got clear skies for the first time and God knows how long, I better crack this out. But yeah, this will be coming out on the 23rd of March. Let's get it cracking. So a little bit of background information on it. We'll be doing the OEM plus build on this one, and we'll be doing the OEM build on the other one, which is God's Will, and this is obviously the Puzzle Master. So because we're going OEM plus on this, we're aiming for not anything too out of, well, let's say too like show off. Yeah, we don't want to be banging bass down the street. So we're going to utilize the original factory spots, no sound deadening. We're just going to turn it into an early 2000s Harman Kardon / Bose system, because that's perfect where these sit. And then if I want to take it to a 9.510, I'll hide an amp in there somewhere, but we'll get onto that another time. So first things first, what we need to do is we need to get this one moved out of the way into this bay that we have over here. Well, I say bay, driveway. Then we need to get this one out and we need to swap all of these around. So yeah, let's get it cracking. So okay, all right, what we're doing now is we're gonna get the other one started and then we can get that polo out of the way. I can't lie, it'll be for a bit of a future video, but I reckon I might rebuild the supercharger on the other one. But yeah, if you saw the other one before I started that, you would have seen that that one's got like just over a quarter tank left. This one's got a nice full tank. Need to get this cracking, get this warmed up, and then we'll get them all switched around and we'll get this job started, because we are working on a time frame. It looks like we've got a lovely clear sky, so fingers crossed it'll all be good. Alright, so we're in the other one now, and whilst we're here I'll show you. So you can see the LCD screens for both of those. Pixels are dead, but we're gonna sort that in another video, so keep your eyes peeled, man. But yeah, so this is the audio system. Don't mind all of this, we'll do a rundown on all the cars. There's a lot of stuff that needs cleaning. So even though it's a Minters and I had bought this on 87k, it's clearly shown its love, but we'll give you a rundown on all of this other stuff that's gonna happen in the build at a different point. So we've got one 6.5 inch mid bass there. We also have coaxials in the back part of the door here, and we also have a factory mid sub located in the back. So we're utilizing all of the natural spaces, and I must say this one, when we bought it, is got a clip broken on the back of it, and these housings from a classic car company are about £55 to £70 per unit. But I'm thinking if we're gonna change these anyway and have them off for the tweeters, I think at a different point, if I feel like it and I can't repair these, I think I'm gonna change these and color match them to the leather. So yeah, audio system, this is a pre-test, and if in all honesty you're gonna hear how bad the flipping sound is. We're missing half of the sound out of this one, and we're missing pretty much all of the sound out of that part of the door. So yeah, we're gonna do this conversion build for the audio system. Hopefully we'll be able to retuck the trim for the door here as well, because I really don't want to replace them. I want to keep the cars OEM as possible, apart from things like car mats, flipping, things like the infotainment unit. So we have got a 55 watt by 4, so 4 channel by 55 watt head unit, but we also have the audio 10 unit upstairs. But I'm looking into how we can upgrade those to modern functionalities like Bluetooth by adding a module to the FM transmitter that's on the inside, but we'll talk about that another time. So what we're going to do is we're going to give you a pre-audio test. not too sure if you can hear it, but the speakers are pretty much dead on this side. And this, I got quoted £60 to repair that. Yeah, £60 from an interior person. I can buy a brand new molded handle for 40 quid. So make that one make sense. But anyways, we're gonna crack on with it. That's the pre-test. It ain't f***ing great, and I'm gonna have to go beep. But yeah, you can see parts like that. Someone had a dash cam wired in here. And I think they might have had an amp wired in it at some point. Hence the reason why speakers are blown. So we have to sort that part out. That's out of place. And then all of these carpets. So all of these carpets are gonna be washed brand new. And then we might stain them, or we might just gut the actual vehicle carpets out, those ones that go through the whole car. But thing is, they're quite clean, so I think I'm gonna have those the whole car inside professionally cleaned once I sort the door cards out, because I want to keep the interior original, apart from things like I said, the head unit here, which I've got some plans for, don't you worry. And slight upholstering bits, you know, little finicky bits. And then all of this stuff needs to get clean because it was 100% a smoker's car. And these are all going to be custom. Alright, away from the waffling, I am like a bit noro spicy, but let's crack this out. We'll get the car turned off. Let's go disconnect the battery. And before we do that, let's make sure both of our doors are open so we can get in there, get the job done. Because we're on a time scale. So before we do that, we'll go and show you what we're putting in the car. And we'll give you a little breakdown. Rear speakers. This is for the rear part of the door. We're going stage 2 because we want to have a bit more rear fill so that it fills out the bigger 6.5 inch stage 1s. So this, ideally, if you're doing OEM plus, this is the highest you really want to go, unless you're going to start adding in amps and external stuff. But we're running off the original internal system, so we're going with stage 2 45Fs for the rear part of the doors. We're going for stage 1 601Cs, 6.5 inches for the front of the door. Those are mid bass, and these are coaxials. Up in here, we've got some special 3D printed baskets for the front of the door. We're then going to try and utilize the rear speaker baskets that are original on there. We've also got a bunch of closed cell foam in there to seal the speakers when we're doing the build. Got a bunch of foam padding which is going to go on the front of the speakers to push up against the door card so there's no leakage. We've also got our little soldering kit back there. So that's the equipment that we're putting in today. And yeah, let's crack on with it. How can I forget a bunch of trim tools? Wait, trim tools? Nah, this is for my service stuff. See, I keep everything in the original packaging, keep everything clear. I need to go find the trim. Alright, so what we're going to do now is we're going to open the boot, we're going to open both front doors so that we can disconnect the battery, and obviously we don't want the doors locking on us whilst we're in there doing the job. So let's disconnect the battery, open the doors before we do that, and get these door cards off. So first things first, let's get this open. I've got new struts on the way, so that'll be a different video. So leave that open. Get both our doors open. Right, we'll disconnect the battery, we'll go get our toolkit, and we'll start cracking off. Alright, so if you come over here, we're going to disconnect the battery now. We've got a Bosch one on here, so we're just going to crack these off. The door cards, and we are going to take off the tweeter housings. So tweeter housings right here. Like I already said to you before, this one has been broken by someone previously, so let's just choose the right tool for the job. So there's two clips, there's one clip here, there's one clip here, and if you can see down in there, you can see where someone snapped off one of them. So if you move back a little bit, we can stick our tool in there, and we can get that out. So right here there's a little pin, just a little push thing. You just push that in, and it should wiggle right out. So whilst taking this housing out, that final clip that, as you could see, was dangling off when we took it out. Do you mind, bro? So many birds in the sky, man. We're next gonna move on to the door handle here. Pry this handle off. We'll start from here. It should just clip out. We've got a couple screws behind there. We're gonna hit the screw behind here. We're gonna hit the screw here, take the plastic clip off. We're then gonna take this off and we're gonna get the door card off. So let's use this one. Onto the frame. So there we go. So in actuality, yeah, so the reupholstery lady said she wants 1 hour with this piece. 1 hour, and they charge £60 an hour for reupholstering. She said, but this, because it only tucks in, we could just go like this, rework it, and tuck your original vinyl back in. Okay, cool, that then leaves you with the original finish. But at that point of paying £60 for an hour for one handle, would you not rather just pay 40 quid and just get a brand new one? So yeah, and I don't know about you, but is that taking 1 hour to do? If you know what you're doing and you're a professional, is that taking you 1 hour? Okay, so that handle's off. Absolute joke. We've managed to tear the vinyl down here anyway, so I say we just get a new handle. Alright, that one's off. We're gonna try and pop this one out now. And this one's lovely, lovely. Battery's disconnected anyway, so you know what, I'll tell you what, whilst we're here, to make our life extremely easy for whilst we're prying the door card off down here, let's pop these out. And you can see they're just spade connectors. So on the puddle lights that we're going to replace, these connectors are smaller pins. They're rated for the same watt, all of that sort of stuff, so that's all good. So what we're going to do is we're going to de-pin these and then we're going to re-pin them onto smaller spades so they fit. So what you do here is just a little bit of a tug. So let's get right there. Oh gosh! Now, you can't do one. Oh shit, if you want to take these out, well, you don't have to find out. Little cut off, up the top, one more around here. Wait, I'm going to do it. That's one other. Screw the glass. Oh god. There's something over here. Oh, it's off. Oh, it's roll. Oh, it's roll. You might want to. You might. It's not. Alright. So, little cut off. We're going to disconnect our seats. We're also going to disconnect this. So we're going to pull this out back a bit. Oh, it's got some type of plastic on it. Don't want to break this. Oh god. There we go. Now that's off. We'll get our door card off. So upon inspection, mate, these speakers are done out. Stick the door card right where the back of the car is. So if you want to get closer, you can see over 25, 26 odd years, you can see what time has done to these speakers. Completely disintegrated, and with the sound, they're just paper. That's all those speakers were made out of back then. Look, literally crumbling off, yeah. So what we're gonna do is, because we're reusing this housing for the back, we're gonna take all of this off just whilst we're here. Absolutely terrible. So this one was the one that was completely inoperative, no sound at all. And then if we actually want to show you this one has got some sound, but you can see it's all broken. It's all broken. Yeah, so there's 3 screws, one here, one here, one here. Same with this one here, one here, and one here. And then what we're going to do is we're going to pull this one off. We're going to take the old speaker out. We're going to fit the new JBL to that. Hopefully, fingers crossed, the depth of them is correct. If not, we're going to have to get new housings for these. This one will 100% be correct. The only issue is that the housing for the other one, we're going to have to drill a hole in it, so we've got access for our cables to come through. But apart from that, we're all good. So yeah, I'll tell you what we'll do is we'll actually strip this door card down so you don't have to watch the other side, because it's only the same thing, and then we'll show you how to put it back together. So let me get a Phillips head, let me unplug all this stuff, take a bit of pictures of the wiring so we know which one's positive, which one's negative, so we know which way to plug the connector back in. And then yeah, so let's get a picture of the wiring. Copyright flipping, free music, all that flipping stuff, so gotta be careful, we don't want to peel that off. So yeah, they are absolutely fudged. Anyways, let's get these in the house, let's get these out of the housings, and let's get the new ones into their housings. Yeah, alright, so let's check if these connectors are the same. Okay, so these wiring adapters, they got spade connectors on to connect to these, and basically these are ever so slightly just a little bit small. So the packet I have open, I've adapted these and I've opened up them up and I've loosened them up a little bit to fit these nice and snug. So we're gonna put on all the wiring harnesses and we're gonna fit up all the speakers before we take them out to the car. So a good reference for us would be actually is, ooh, these might not be shallow enough, and if that's the case, dude, video is gonna have to get paused there. So the rear ones we can reuse the housing for. Let's pray that they are the same size. I mean, they look in fact, actually, this one looks slightly shallower than this one, so that's good news. Yeah, so yeah, let's leave that on for now. Let's face that upside down. Let's get our white ones up. So that's our first little hurdle. What was it? No, I've got this. Nice. Alright, wire up. Fingers though. We now need to get this connector to come back through it. Oh no, that's what we need to do. Alright, so be careful. Get these out. So let's wrap the right way through there. And we can tuck those in. Nice, okay. So once those are in, we'll line those up nicely. Get these just started. And we've got, so this one was quite thick, these are really thin, so I'm using those. So I picked up these, so we might need to thin it down a bit by, well, half the size, but we are going to replace the seals on the front of this because we do want as tight as we possibly can have them. The factory fittings didn't have any closed cell foam underneath them to fix them down, so I'm not going to add any, because like we're going OEM plus, so we want to keep everything the way they've kind of done it. What I'm hoping for is that all of these screws go back in nicely, and the screws go back in nicely, and we'll cut these out, so okay, go to it again. That's it, not back to the side, that's not going to do it, I'm not going to do it, I'm not going to do it. So I'm going to write what's moving from the ring of stuff. Alright, so let's get this one out now. Come on. Oh gosh. Around. Alright, so these are 6.5-inch JBO units. More packaging. Here are our housings that we're using, the 3D printed housings. So, and I'd probably say we'll stick our wiring through there. Oh gosh, that's a problem, man. That's a problem. Let's take one of these bad boys. Nice. Crisp units. You know what? Let's do a power of comparison, yeah? Oh my gosh. That's insane, man. That's crazy. Alright, so we've got one of the units out. We'll put this unit to the side with the stage 2 one for now. And then what we'll do is, we'll go get the drill, we'll drill this, and then we'll get this one wired up. Alright, so what we're going to do is, we're going to use an 8-bit, and we're going to drill a hole through there, and just so it's big enough for the positive to fit through, because the negative is tiny anyway. Sorry, don't do that around, because it's quite dangerous. I will have it, it has like, yeah, that's what I'm sorry. We'll do something like this, I'm just build car wiring, so I don't know how to use like, actually, so it's really crap, it's easy like that, it's like the whole, so it's it. If I find these, I don't know how to use it, and I'm sorry, I'm doing this best I can, I'm not actually cracking this, sorry, should be easy, not pretty sure. So, we'll grab our tiny little screwdriver, and go back out here. Move this out of our way because we don't want anything sharp near our speakers. Brush that off, we'll do that in a bit. So yeah, these fittings, when I tested them last time, these fittings are, mind you, these ones have gone on fine, so it might have just been that singular one that was a bit tight. No, it was the positive side that was a bit finicky. So what you want to do is, if you want to loosen up a bit, get the right side screwdriver, put it all the way into the bottom there, and what you want to do is just twist it around, giving it some more size. All it allows is, it just allows that fat ass clip to just reach in a bit better really. So, through the middle, one by one, let's get the positive through. Oh, sorry, wrong way. Get the positive through. No, yeah, that's it. Well, we see it. Let's see what it's so, get wiring. Anyway, so go over the left side. That's the first, positive. That's the I'll use this in this way. So, okay, this way. A little bit of slack on that. So Alright, so we've got those wired in into the adapter. Hopefully the length of that should fit straight into the car. Same with this one. So what we're going to do is we're going to try our best to get all of this like butyl tape off. Failing that, we'll just get as much of it as we can off, and then we'll just use new stuff. So here's our new stuff. The stuff on the front of it was about the rear of it was about this thick, but just for precautionary measures I'm going to use this one. Supposedly from the place I ordered, this was closed cell foam tape, so realistically it should be completely fine to use on it. It's just going to be a bit hard to, like, you know, turn into a circle. We just need to make sure that we cut this strip down in half for about 1, 2, 3, 4, so to about here, so about halfway, because we've got 2 doors. So let's get that cut and let's get this put on. So let's just fold it in half like this to get a good size, so we know where to cut it from. Okay, Stanley, nice easy cut. All we're gonna do is we're gonna take our speaker, put this one to the side a bit, take our speaker, measure up where it's gonna go, and then give me a sec, let me just go get a pair of scissors. Alright, so now we've got this cut to size. What we're gonna do is we're gonna peel the backing off. Let's just hope that this sticks down correctly the first time, because this stuff's disgusting to take back off. So alright, so let's get back to the car. Let's get these fitted. So we're just gonna hold these upside down so we don't damage any units. First things first, we want to match the mounting holes. Behind there and then up into there, but we'll see, we'll figure it out. So what we're going to do now is my cameraman's going to break my clips off of my door. I'm going to go get some cable ties. So what we're doing now is tying up the cables. I wish I had like little parts where I could tie these together, but unfortunately all these holes here are for door card slots to go back on. So all we're going to do is we're going to take all this wires and cable tie them together. Back on. So my cameraman managed to destroy a clip which I have replaced here, but it looks ever so slightly smaller than the ones that are here, so I wonder if it's even going to go in. But yeah, so let's put the door card on. It's pretty much up the reverse of how we took it off.
So that's the most fiddly part, getting this back into its proper seal and making sure that it's actually seated back in. So next step is doing the reverse back in its place. Next step's going to be we'll put our screws back in. So if you remember, we had one So that's that one. I'll get that one cracked out, but I ain't gonna record that because it's the exact same thing we've just done. And then we'll give you the after test. Let's get it. And before I forget, let's wire our lights back in as well. Up. So I think for next time, I think what I've learned with these ones is that just take this weather strip out with it, because they come out easier with that one than they do with off. So now it looks like that pan's back on properly. It looks like it's all seated back on. And then we'll go to the battery and then we'll see what I've got on.